Okay, my name is Beth Chance, but when I was in the Peace Corps I was Beth Perlman, and I was in Mauritania in 1983-84 in the village of Mongel, and I was an agricultural volunteer.
My name is Jeff Byerly. I served in Mauritania and Gabon, 1990 and 1991. Country. After the Gulf War broke out, we were evacuated from Mauritania, and I wished that I could have stayed in Mauritania for the completion of my service, because in ways it was the most inhospitable place I've ever been.
So to break in, whereabouts is Mauritania, and why was your service cut short? Because of the Gulf War?
Gulf War.
Why that would be?
It was a political. Well, first of all, Mauritania is south of Morocco and north of Senegal, nestled between those two countries. The capital, Nouakchott. It was the time of Gulf War, or Desert Storm, and there was an affiliation or an alliance in some way between Mauritania and Iraq. Ends up I think the royal jewels, maybe even part of the royal family, sought refuge in Mauritania, and politically it wasn't. It was decided that we would be best moved on. I mentioned also the inhospitability. I mean, the inhospitable feeling I got. Not only the climate, hot, dry, desert or sandstorms. But there was also a challenge of working into the culture and assimilating. But I found that this family brought me in and made me feel welcome. It was astounding. They had a child after I left, and they named that child Jeff after me. And
How did you find that out?
I was sent a photo. By the family, and they couldn't. They had lost, and I didn't have a way to be contacted necessarily, but they had an address of my sister, who they sent information to my sister, who was in Colorado Springs at the time, and I don't know how they got that information. I can't recall giving it to them. But they sent the information on to my sister, and my sister got back to them about how they could contact me, and it was months before I got a picture of Binta with her son, Jeff. Binta and Fidel, associated with the iron mine. And I just remember being so touched at that news. And as harsh as the climate was, to be able to make that sort of connection with a family was very, very meaningful.
Kevin Balladad, 96 to 98. I was in Mauritania as a small enterprise development volunteer.
My name is Margaret Ambrosino. I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer from the Islamic Republic of Mauritania from 2003 to 2005. And the first story that one of the stories I'd like to tell is about my dear friend Biri and Jai, and this was during our pre-service training in June of 2003. We were there for about a month, and this was in Kaidi in the south of Mauritania. The air was very stagnant. It was very, very dry. And Biri was kind enough to invite all 45 or so trainees to his wedding. And this was an epic Soninke wedding where we all sat around all day in our finest newly made African clothes. And what I remember most about this were the gifts that were being passed around, and just kind of all the time in between, the sitting around and the waiting until things really got going and the dancing and the celebration kicked in. 4 cows were offered for this wedding. We had a fantastic feast, and I will never forget the kindness and the caring and the attention that was shown to the American friends and being invited into this very special extended family celebration. We were treated like part of their family. I got an email this morning that my friend Bidi and Jai had passed away. I just got I don't know if I expressed him in the past tense, but I just talked to him via Facebook about 2 months ago, and I heard this morning that he had passed, and he was a very influential friend of Peace Corps Mauritania. He had stomach cancer, and I had no idea. None of us had any idea.
Well, this is the person, the wedding?
This is the wedding, the epic Sininke wedding in Kaidi, and during our training service. Yeah.
We can blend that in with that previous. You told about the wedding.
Yeah.
And then just go into as if you're going immediately into, and this is the latest on Dijar, however you want to say it about him passing away. I think that will close together nicely with that story. So come on, let's talk about that. Is that how you just got the news? Just as you were doing this, I'm just trying to
Okay.
get you ahead.
I've maintained some contact for over the years, and
now it's 2012.
Yeah. I've kept in touch with a lot of my African friends, and Beauty and Jai was one that I have been talking with since we connected via Facebook about 2 years ago, and have been emailing here and there, and it's 2012 now. I've learned of his passing. He was a very dear friend of Peace Corps Mauritania and still keeps in touch with, or kept in touch with, several of his American friends. And thinking back to his wedding in 2003, how that was such a nice welcome to the country, that he and his extended family would invite us to partake in his celebration, close to 50 of us, to celebrate his, what I believe was a 4-day wedding, and we were there for just 1 day, but that lasted, that lingered with me, and I hope that his family and his friends are safe and well, and I'm confident that they are. I really just don't have anything else to say. I didn't really want to talk about his passing, but if it helps tie it in a little bit.
It's a way of honoring him.
Yeah. It's just, it was purely coincidental that I had planned to come here 2 days ago and just had gotten this email, and of a really memorable, selfless, egoless, generous, giving, rich soul, old soul person. He was 6'5". He had the biggest smile. He had a laugh that you could hear across the room. He was one of the top-notch language trainers and cultural facilitators of our group in Mauritania. They were all wonderful, but Biri really stood out in personality and demeanor and in size. And just somebody you will never forget. And I really honor and pay tribute to him to talk about this, to have this opportunity, and I really appreciate that you're able to do this for us and to do this Peace Corps project, because it's people like this that really make us want to continue the program and share that connection, and not just go back and visit our friends, but to talk to larger groups to help in the recruitment effort of volunteers, because there's just, these are unforgettable moments that we can experience through having the honor and privilege to participate in Peace Corps. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Becca Lawrenson. I was a volunteer in Mauritania, West Africa from 2007 to 2009. And I was trying to think of a good story. I came up with this one day we were eating breakfast with my host family, and I got up to move something and I startled our horse, and the horse kicked me, and it was terrible, and the whole family was standing around super like scared, and we didn't have any ice, and I ended up being fine. But ever since that, every time they brought the horse back from the fields, they'd be like, hey, look, there's your friend, the horse. And I was like, oh, really funny, really funny.